I'm Peter Bois, nationally touring magician.
And I'm Gus Davis, nationally touring game show host.
We don't get regular Saturday nights because we are out performing on the weekends.
That's why Mondays are so special to us. They are our Saturdays.
We will help you get through your Monday by joining us on our Saturday.
Monday is the new Saturday.
Welcome to Monday Club.
Hey everybody, this is Gus Davis. Look, I wanted to make a quick announcement for all of our Monday Club fans out there. We have to make a quick Monday Club change. We are both hitting our very busy season, and Pete and I have decided that we are going to take a break from Monday Club for a minute. We still plan on making some more new content, some new episodes, certainly posting on our Instagrams and social media pages, but we are probably going to take a break from Monday Club and do our own projects for a minute. We love you. We're going to miss you. Please keep contacting us. Also, please tell your friends to listen to Monday Club and keep an eye out because we plan on doing some more episodes later on down the road. Love you guys. Thanks for your support. Monday! We made it to Monday! Hey, everybody, we have an amazing show for you today. I'm Gus Davis. Along with me, as always, is my cohort in crime, Mr. Peter Bois. Listen, we are going to be cheersing to accidental cuddles on trains. We're going to be taking you back to beer school. We talk cool improv. Stunt robots, are they going to take over our jobs? They're taking our jobs! Summer Movie Challenge continues, and it boils over to a head. Also, we're going to be talking about the tale of two magic shows and this week's Teachable moment. Stick around. It's going to be awesome.
Merry Monday!
Merry Monday, cheers!
You sound like a World Cup announcer.
Oh, man. I got to watch some World Cup this weekend. It was pretty good. Pretty drunk and pretty good.
It was pretty good.
It was pretty good. How are you doing, buddy?
I am doing very well. I didn't know if I was going to make it to Monday Club because there was a huge T-storm rolling through my area, and there was lots of thunder and lightning, and my lights were flickering moments before I logged in with you, and then it passed over. So that allowed me to be in the clubhouse with you.
You hear that? It's official. God endorses Monday Club.
Yes!
We got the big bump from the big guy. Oh, that's right. It's sacred ground. This
How are
Monday
you?
Club.
Did you have a sign from above that you should be at Monday Club today?
Sort of. I woke up, which was really good.
Anytime you wake up is a good sign.
Yeah, any day you wake up is a good day. Especially last night, I stayed out till, good God, I stayed out till like 4 o'clock in the morning, which I'm getting too old to stay out till 4 o'clock in the morning on a, at the end of a weekend, heading into a weekday where you actually got to work. And so I rolled out of bed this morning, and it was one of those roll out of beds where I rolled, like, my eyes opened just like super quick, and I was like, uh-oh, what happened? Where am I? But I looked around and I was like, oh, yeah, everything's cool. I didn't miss Monday Club. So
there's something wrong if I don't hear my alarm.
That's right. Yeah, I'm doing well. Yeah, so we're already off track. That's awesome. So listen, I have discovered a newfound love of hookah lounges. And so last night I ended up at a hookah lounge because here's actually what happened. I went out to see one of Shannon's performances, but it didn't end until like 10 o'clock at night. And then after it ended, we went out with the cast to celebrate the show. And then it's like midnight. But for me, I haven't actually gotten to see her and spend any just quality time with her. And so we were looking around trying to figure out what is open past midnight that's not like a night dance club or something like that. And it just happened to stumble across this hookah lounge that's like, hey, yeah, we're open till like 3:30 in the morning. Yeah, and you can bring your own beer. It's cool, whatever. And so we're like, whoa, yeah.
That's a
so
win.
we showed up over there, and it was super chill, man. They served us tea out of these silver tea platters and trays, and we just sat outside, and it was, because it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, it was cool-ish outside, and just hung out and talked, and we looked down at the clock, and it's just like, oh, shit, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, we got to go to bed.
Hookah Lounge did their job.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was pretty great. So,
That's cool.
So yeah. Anyway, that was a good start to my week, and then now it's Monday, so it's a nice little extra bonus day.
Bam.
Yeah.
Dude, you sent me this clip of the Cheers of the Week, and I watched it the first time before the show while you were saying something important to me, and I started laughing, so I apologize that I was laughing at your very important words to me, but it's your fault, damn it. You sent the goddamn funniest shit to me, and I'm sorry I watched it at that moment in time.
Oh, you're good. You're good. It was a little awkward because I was kind of pouring my heart out to you, and I look up, and you're like, ha, 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 ha.
I saw you blush a little, like, uh-oh, you're trying to keep it together and be like, give me the benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, you were getting pissed at me.
It's all good. It's all good. Oh, well then, so why don't you go ahead and set this one up?
All right, this is from our favorite website called Reddit, and so there's this woman, singular, sleeping on a train in London. So this is a subway, I'm assuming, and she's just like hunched over herself, and there's one person to her right and one person to her left, and she's kind of leaning a little bit more to the left, and it's just happened again. Every time it's playing, it's on loop, and I'm watching it now, and and she's out cold. She's just done, and there was a bump in the train, and so it awoke her. Slightly. That's key. She awoke slightly, and then she went to go back asleep in her position, and then she realized, oh, there's an arm next to me that I can cuddle to. So instead of like going back to her original hunched over position, she grabs the arm of the man sitting next to her and just cuddles up right beside him. And
she does.
Grabs on his arm, puts her head on his shoulder, and just attempts to fall back asleep, and then like 3 seconds later she realizes what she's done, and she looks up and she's so embarrassed, and
she just sees that she is literally just snuggled up to some random dude on the train, and yeah, she just turns bright red, puts her hands over her face, and just can't believe it. What's hilarious about this too is that clearly someone who knows this woman is filming her and watching this happen. And I think what probably happened is he saw her start to lean over and pulled out his phone and was like, oh, this is going to be funny. And then it just culminates with that bump hitting, and she barely opens her eyes and just recognizes there's an arm there, and just slips her arm around this guy's arm and just literally just snuggles up to it and goes back to sleep. And the one of my favorite parts is the look of the dude. It's like he's in a weird position, right? He's like, on the one hand, some random chick just cuddled up to him. On the other hand, he's like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, the look of shock on his face when she initially did it, and then he's obviously a good-natured person, so they were laughing about it. And, like, his eyes got wide. He looked over and he's like, what do I do?
Yep. So Pete, this begs the question: has anything like this ever happened to you while you're on an airplane or something like that? Has anyone ever snuggled up to you or put their head on you while they're going to sleep?
I've had a head go on my shoulder before. Yes. Mm-hmm. Someone else's head go on my shoulder while they were sleeping, and their mouth wasn't on me, so there was no chance of drool onto me. So I just decided to let it be. If I was trying to sleep, I might have shook him off a little bit, give him a little shoulder shrug.
Shoulder shrug, yeah.
But I just decided to let it stay. But it was okay. It wasn't, it's a little annoying, but I dealt with it. How about you?
Yeah, man. I've had the head lean over and get on me like you. There was no chance of drool, so yeah, I guess that was fine. I've also had I've had a hand like when people are nervous flyers, I've had a hand like reach over and grab my arm and dig into my arm with their fingernails, and I think I don't know which one do you think is more invasive? The head on the shoulder while they're asleep, or the nervous flyer digging their fingernails into your flesh?
I think by definition, digging nails into flesh is more invasive. You've penetrated
because
my
you might
body.
need a tetanus shot after.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's this guy, like you said, is clearly good-natured about it. I was reading some of the comments about this video, and some of the comments were like, "Look, I've had people fall asleep on me, and I was torn between a rock and a hard place. On the one hand, it was, kind of nice that someone was just snuggled up onto them, and on the other hand, they had to pee. And so they're like, I'm not sure how long I can let this stand." That moment when you wake them up is a little awkward too, where you're like, hi, and they look up and there's no recognition of who you are at all, and they're kind of terrified, and you're like, hi, yeah, you're sleeping on me, and I this is my stop. I need to get off.
We've just shared a really intimate moment, but I have to go now.
But it's time for me to go, and I don't want to be that guy. So my name's Jeff. Anyway, I think we should raise our glasses high to this guy for being good-natured about some chick randomly falling asleep and cuddling on him, and also to the guy who's filming this. Way to be prepared.
Yeah. Cheers to you guys. This week I am making good on our Monday Club beer buying from Tristan. Thank you, Tristan, for my beer this week. She sent us some money for Flying Dog. Gus cannot find it in Texas, so he substituted last week. This week I went to Madden's Beverage Place in Maine. It's a couple towns up from me, and they have everything. So I know whenever I need something, if they don't have it, it can't be found. And I found Flying Dog Raging Bitch. It is a Belgian IPA, and it is 8.3% ABV, and it is very, very good. Ever since we've had the Eric Diddleman IPA episode where he bought us IPAs, I haven't hated IPAs.
I'm going to say that I also have had more IPAs since that episode, and it's tasting less and less like wet tree bark to me. So I don't know if we got diddlemaned. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, some of them are actually pretty good. You can tell that they actually care about the beer. It's like, as long as they're intentional about the taste of it, I think it's probably fine. But it's still kind of an acquired taste for me.
Yeah, definitely. It's not. It's delicious. I think it's fantastic. It's not too bitter, but it's got enough taste, and it's a unique taste. I don't know. I'm not super into naming the tastes, but I'm enjoying it. I like it. So thank you very much for my drink, Tristan.
Well, also in continuing with our being bought drinks, Rob bought me, Mr. Rob Balchunas bought me a birthday shot last 2 episodes ago, and I haven't been able to really make good on it. So Rob, this one's for you, buddy. I went out to the store, and I found something that I swore to God and his holy angels that I would never, ever drink again, and I just assumed that for my birthday, Rob would want me to drink it. So I went ahead and bought it anyway. I got myself some apple pie moonshine.
Ooh, this
is Texas Shine, 70 proof alcohol by volume. It comes in a mason jar. It is freaking delicious. It is. It's from the Texas Shine Pilot Point in Pilot Point, Texas. Man, it is so good. The thing with apple pie moonshine is it tastes like, it really, to me, honest to God, tastes like apple juice. And so I drink it like apple juice. I just drink the whole thing and then wonder why I can't see straight and got a weird tattoo. Like, I mean, it goes down, and it's like apple pie moonshine is basically my Jaeger shots. And so for you, Rob, I poured it into my Monday Club mug, and I will be sipping on that throughout the episode. I also made myself a little healthy screwdriver over here, so I am two-fisting it for this episode of Monday Club. And cheers to you guys. Thanks for the drinks.
And thank you guys so much for listening. to Monday Club and being part of the club. Check us out on iTunes and give us a little love, a little rating up there, and a little star rating of 5 stars because we like 5 stars. We're not into 4 stars, but we like the 5. That always helps get the word out about Monday Club. Tell your friends about Monday Club. We want to grow the club, make it nice, big, and huge. We'll add on lots of things to our tree fort, like a gym maybe. No, not a gym. We don't need a gym in the tree fort, but we'll add extra beer coolers in the back for our friends. And we always give out exclusive content every couple episodes, so the only way to get that is through our newsletter. So you have to sign up for that at MondayClubPodcast.com. Sign up for the newsletter there, get exclusive content. You can buy us a drink just like Tristan and Rob did. You can PayPal us the money and tell us what you want us to drink, and we will try it and give you a shout-out on air. Just PayPal us the money at MondayClubPodcast@gmail.com. You can also email us any questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to talk to us about. You can talk to us through that email, mondayclubpodcast@gmail.com. Also, we're on Twitter, Monday Club Pod, Instagram, Monday Club Podcast, and we are on Spotify and YouTube, so you can listen up there as well.
Hey, Pete.
Yeah?
Did you hear a bell?
A bell?
Yeah.
No.
Oh. Well, because it sounded like there was a bell because school is about to be in session.
We are taking you to school. Beer school, that is. Get ready for a fermented flood of facts about beer. Wow, that is an amazing intro to the intro, Gus.
Oh, man, that made us both really, really happy. Oh, God. Okay, so this week on Beer School, Pete and I are going to go head-to-head. We've got a couple of facts here. Mine are from the history of beer. I don't know what yours are about, but we're going to go back-to-back and see which Beer School you guys want to subscribe to. So, Pete, I'm going to flip a coin, heads or tails?
Heads. I always want heads.
All right, you win. You get to go first.
All right, my beer fact is after he won the Nobel Peace Prize, or excuse me, not the Peace, I don't know what Nobel Prize he won. After he won the Nobel Prize, whatever one the is, Niels Bohr was given a perpetual supply of beer piped into his house.
Yeah, that's a pretty great fact. That's your entire country pulling together and being like, listen, you've done enough. You just sit at home and drink beer. We appreciate all you've already done for us. Yeah, that's a good fact. All right.
A little side note. I Googled him. He was a physicist who made foundational contributions to underlying atomic structure and quantum theory.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah,
physics.
Yeah, Niels Bohr, physics. All right, here's my opening salvo. In the 1980s, a beer drinking goat was elected mayor of Lajitas, Texas.
What?
Yeah. So there's this
beer-drinking goat.
Yeah, there's this goat that literally it could pick up bottles of beer and down bottles of beer, and people in Lajitas, Texas said, you know what? Screw it. That thing can be our mayor.
Wow.
And voted it as their mayor.
So there's two things here. One, how bad do you have to be to lose to a drunkard?
Yeah, a drunken goat.
Two, how bad do you have to lose to a goat?
Yep,
there's a third one. How bad do you have to be to lose to a drunken goat?
Right. And the mayor is in charge of some serious things like the fire department,
police department,
the police department. I mean, I guess if you're in Lajitas, Texas, and you got a pigeon for a post office, then I guess it's fine. Whatever. All right. Yeah. All right. It's on you.
All right. I like this one. This one should be codified into the laws of the land here in America. The Code of Hammurabi decreed that bartenders who watered down beer would be executed.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
If you're watering around the booze, watering down the booze.
That sort of goes along with the idea of don't be a dick, right? Like, just don't be that pub. Don't be that pub that waters down beer. We're paying you good money. Serve us good beer.
Yeah.
Look, okay, you want to go history? Let's go history. How about this one? George Washington insisted his Continental Army be permitted a quart of beer as part of their daily rations.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beer does have calories, so there is some nutritional content to beer.
It's not just that beer has calories. I don't know. I mean, you and I travel a lot, right?
Yeah.
I have driven to places like when I drive let's say I was just driving to Maine. I was driving to visit you. Imagine trying to get people to walk from Austin, Texas to Maine. Like, and know that you're probably going to get shot with a cannon and have somebody use a saw to remove your legs. Like the only way they could possibly get people to inspire people to go out and do that is if they're like, look, but we will give you a crap ton of beer on the walk.
Because that just makes all your cares go away.
Yeah.
All the pain is just gone right then.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to give me beer. Okay,
Yeah.
Can I drink it while I walk? Sure, why not? It's like a nice
It's your
leisurely
ration.
stroll across a continent.
A continent filled with Native Americans that want to scalp you, and scarlet fever, and bears, and woods, and fords, and all that stuff. And basically, it's like playing Oregon Trail, except for they're like, yeah, but you got beer.
Man, imagine if I could get drunk, go back in time and get sixth grade Peter drunk while he played Oregon Trail in computer class.
It would make so much more sense.
All right, the top 5 states for beer consumption per capita are, do you want to take a stab at number 1?
Montana.
Oh, that's in the top 5, but not number 1.
North Dakota.
Ding, 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 ding.
Really?
Yeah. Holy crap. Well done, Gus. I didn't think you would get it in 2 tries. All right, so you got
Neither
2 out
did
of 5. Now, can you get the last 3? They don't
I'm
have
gonna
to be in
guess.
order.
Okay, I'm gonna guess Minnesota.
Nope, but you're close.
Okay. God, Alabama.
Nope. All right, you're off. Okay, so North
right.
Dakota is number 1. You got that, which is very impressive. You got 2 out of 5. New Hampshire is number 2, my neighbor.
Wow.
Go New Hampshire. Montana is number 3, your guess.
Oh, yeah.
South Dakota is number 4, and Wisconsin is number 5. Go Cheeseheads.
Yeah, basically the theory is the less there is to do in your state, the more alcohol that you're going to drink.
True, but New Hampshire's kind of an anomaly because they're in New England. I mean, there's Massachusetts there. I mean, it's not a ton to do in New Hampshire, but it's not North Dakota.
It's not Montana levels of
Yeah.
nothing to do.
Yeah, which is why they just happen to like good beer, I guess, maybe.
I mean, and that's fine. Like, I think that 1 out of the 5 places being a place that you could actually go to IHOP on the weekday is probably fine. But most of those states that you just named, you could drive for 5 hours without seeing a human being. And so, yeah, I totally get having a beer. All right, here's my follow-up one. Did you know, Monday Club, that during Prohibition, people were prescribed medical beer? So medical beer was obviously a made-up cause, but brewers, physicians, and people who drank got together and made it legit that doctors could prescribe medical beer. The laws were passed in 1921, according to Smithsonian.com, and it worked for almost a year until the U.S. government said, wait, medical beer? Is that really a thing? And people were like, no, it's not really a thing, and they canceled medical beer. But just like you could get prescribed medical marijuana before marijuana was legal in a couple of states, you could get prescribed medical beer during Prohibition.
That's incredible.
Right?
Doctors
And I'm
find a
proud
way
to be an American, or at least I know I'm
free
free.
if it's prescribed. Let's see. I got a couple. Oh, so here I'm just going to tag on to yours. Here's a fact I said, and then I want to do another one. But at the end of Prohibition, FDR said, "What America needs now is a drink." Well said, FDR.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the one I want to say though. I lost count. How many are we on?
I don't know. This is fine.
All right. Here's what. At spas in Europe, you can literally bathe in beer as a physical and mental therapeutic treatment.
I think that's beautiful.
That's incredible. Could you get drunk by osmosis?
I don't know. I don't think so. And I'll tell you what. I don't want to drink beer that's had me in it.
No, but could you get soak up the alcohol in you? Do you know that there's a thing? This is going to get gross for a second. You can have an alcoholic enema, right? And you can get super drunk off that?
Yeah, that can kill you very easily.
Oh, Or
Yeah, like I think just one beer as used as an enema can get into your bloodstream too fast and kill you.
That's crazy.
Now, I said can. I put a big asterisk on that, so I'm sure people have survived that, but please don't do that. That's terrible.
Yeah.
1, you have to give yourself an enema. 2, 2, you have to butt chug the enema, and 3, it's a beer.
Well,
Don't do
you
it.
could have a friend give you an enema.
I mean, you could. Don't do it. All right, here's my final one. Thomas Jefferson wrote parts of the Declaration of Independence in a Philadelphia tavern, which means that's just like me studying for a final back in college. Like, yeah, I can go to a bar and study at the same time. It's like, I mean, it didn't work for me, but I guess it worked for TJ while he was writing the Declaration of Independence.
That's awesome. Can I tag on to yours, even though it's an extra one?
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling invented Quidditch in a pub. All great ideas come from alcohol.
All great ideas come from alcohol.
That was your beer school for the day.
Nice. That was fun. Good job. Dude, so I got to catch you up on some Shannon news, okay?
All right, hit me.
So it seems like every time I talk about Shannon, she's winning some kind of improv award, and I'm just super happy for her and proud of her and all that. But this past weekend, what we went out, ended up doing hookah to celebrate, was she got invited, hand-selected from 5 different improvisers in Austin. Not just in Austin, actually. They had people come in from all over Texas that were invited. So 5 improvisers came in, and here's the concept. The concept is that they have to present an 8-minute TED Talk without knowing the subject matter that they're presenting, the audience they're presenting it to, or the slides that they're going to show. Okay? And so she gets up there. She's number 3. Number 3 in the lineup. And she gets up there. They introduce her, and they pick her topic. They pick the audience that she's presenting to, and then she has a clicker in her hand with a certain set number of slides that she knows the number of slides ahead of time, but she doesn't know what the pictures are. And then she is supposed to give as legit of a TED Talk as she possibly can with these with those factors in mind.
Wow.
And the idea behind it is really cool. The idea behind it isn't just that they're showing off their improv skills and making up a legit TED Talk. The bigger idea of this is that the producer of the show wants to take the winner of this, so Shannon, of this contest, and use them as an example in doing corporate trainings for corporations to learn how to do presentations. Because if you can do a presentation where you literally have no idea anything about the presentation, then with a couple of extra leads and using the skills that an improviser would use, you could put on a badass presentation. And so there's a smaller part of the show and then a bigger concept of the show. Anyway, she knocked it out of the freaking park, and we went out afterwards, and the producer brought some champagne for all of the cast and the rest of the improvisers that was part of it, and she gets to go back and perform in the Out of Bounds Comedy Festival that's coming to Austin and do a similar routine, and then hopefully she gets to go on and do some of the corporate work too. So anyway, cheers to you, Shannon. That's just badass. You put us all to shame when it comes to that kind of stuff. So cheers.
Wow, and a huge Monday Club round of applause.
Yeah.
That's no joke. That's hard. That's a fear of mine. That's like the magic nightmare, going on stage, not knowing what you're supposed to do, or your props aren't prepared and you just have to go off. That is literally a nightmare that I have had and continue will have, probably.
And that's sort of the point, right? In a lot of studies, they have proven that public speaking is the number one fear that adults have, like over death by flamethrower. People are just freaked out by public speaking, which is why most performers get so much credit for getting up in front of large groups of people. But even for me, most of what I do is scripted, or at least I've done it enough that I know the ins and outs of it. But yeah, to be just thrown into a situation where I know I'm just bullshitting the entire time. Like, I have no idea any of it. And being able to carry on a succinct presentation and do a good 8-minute, like, her time ended with her finishing the last slide. Like, I mean, she just nailed the presentation. Yeah, that is super impressive.
That's cool. If that ever gets posted to YouTube or whatever, we should include a link in that in the show notes.
Yeah,
if
cool.
It ever
cool.
does.
I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, I caught up on some movie watching. I finally saw Ant-Man a couple nights ago.
Oh, dude, me too. Okay, you tell me your Ant-Man story. I'll tell you mine.
All right, so I went out with Monday Clubber Norman Ing, and so the theater we usually go see movies at, it's always like the 9:30, 10 p.m. showing because you got to put the kids to bed, and then the adults can go out and play. And
suck it, kids.
there used to be a ground round attached to the theater, and then they went out of business. So we had no place to drink alcohol before we go see a movie. That was close. Like, the nearest bar was, 10 minutes away, and you just want to have your last drink and just walk into the theater. And so we found this place called Barreled Souls, which is only a half mile from the theater. And it's a local brew pub and brewery. They just have, it's like a tap room, and it is really awesome. It's kind of a basement feel. You feel like you're in a deep, dark basement. They've got, nice lighting, and it feels like you're in a cave almost. And they brew some pretty interesting beers there. I had a great session IPA, and also their special is barley wine, and I had a nice barley wine that they brewed.
What is barley wine?
I think it's aged barley that I think it's literally barley wine. Instead of using grapes, they use barley.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good. It was interesting. It was thick. It felt. They served it in a smaller glass because it's like 20% ABV, and so it's legit a legit drink.
I know I sound stupid, but I don't know what barley is. What is barley? Because barley wine sounds like something you'd make in prison.
That's like bathtub gin. I'm Googling it. How's that? Barley wine is a style of strong ale between 6 and 11%, or 8 and 12. Okay, so maybe it wasn't 20%, but it was a strong ABV. So yeah, it is. So barley is a grain. It's like wheat.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, that makes sense.
It doesn't come out often because you have to age it in barrels.
Okay.
So it's harder to get and harder to find.
But it's basically an aged grain that they turn into wine.
Yes. A malt-rich ale aged to complexity and oftentimes sipped with the same respect awarded to rare wines. Brewing a successful barley wine takes some adaptation, patience, and, well, just plain more of everything.
Okay, it sounds to me like it's beer that they want you to sip like wine.
Yes.
Because I know beer has barley and hops and yeast in it, right? Most beers, anyway.
Okay, I will read from morebeer.com. The differences between beer and barley wine lie in the quantities of raw materials used and in the technique applied to each of the steps. Brewing a barley wine requires extra vigilance and extra attention. Unless you make the commitment to brew nothing but big beers and devise systems and procedures that eventually settle into second nature, the brewing of these, the biggest of beers, is likely to require extra work and craft. So it's a more complicated procedure, but they still won't tell me what the procedure is.
Look, man, they're just trying to call something different, but it's basically just expensive beer. Just call it what it is. It's a sipping beer.
Yeah, it's a sipping beer.
All right.
Yeah, it's like
a
an
sipping
English
beer
style.
that you drink with your pinky up, and you swirl it around, and you sniff it, and you're like, and then you drink it, and it's barley beer.
Yeah,
it's fine. Barley wine.
If you've had a British style, English style ale. It's kind of similar in taste to that, but stronger.
Okay. All right.
That's my barley. Yeah, so we found this cool place called Barreled Souls, and now it's going to be a regular stop, and I'm going to be drinking barley wine a lot more often.
And what movie did you see?
Oh, yeah. I saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I freaking loved it. I thought it was a fantastic superhero movie.
Yeah, okay. I'm so glad, man. Look, you and I had a similar week because I had a show in New Orleans, and for some reason I landed in New Orleans at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I went and did all of the stuff I could do. I went and had breakfast. I went into Walmart and bought some stuff that I needed for the show, and then it was like 10:30. And I went into the my hotel, my La Quinta's. You know, I'm loyal to La Quinta's.
Yep.
And I went into La Quinta, and I was like, "Hey, I know it's 10:30 in the morning, but is there any way I could check into a room?" And they looked, and I remembered I was specifically thinking about you and all of your terrible times that you've had checking in early at some hotels. And they looked, and she originally was like, "Oh, sir, it's like 10:30 in the morning. We haven't even stopped serving breakfast yet." And I was like, "Yeah, I get that." Anyway, she clicked on her computer, and then she looked up, because I haven't used any of my travel points in a long time, and so right now I have just an epic metric crap ton of points just saved up. And so she looked, and she's like, oh, well, you stay at La Quinta's a lot, don't you? And I was like, yep. And she's like, huh. And then she typed on her computer for a long time, and she was finally like, yeah, well, we do. We have a room available, but it's not the suite that you reserved. And I was like, look, I didn't actually reserve a suite. They upgraded me to a suite. Like, I as long as it has a bed and a shower, I'm good. She's like, okay. So I got a room. So I got checked in at about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And then I realized that I didn't have load-in until, like, 6 o'clock in the evening. And I was like, what am I going to do with my time? So I decided I'd go ahead and go to a movie. And yeah, I went to go see Ant-Man and Wasp 2. I also loved it. It was just a fun movie. It wasn't a Black Panther for me. It wasn't an Infinity Wars for me, or a Civil War Captain America movie. But it was definitely a fun superhero movie. There was parts where I was like, "Yay, go good guys!"
Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead.
You know what? I just Thor Ragnarok is on Netflix right now, and so I rewatched that, and I remembered how good of a superhero movie that was. And again, that's not like Civil War, it's not Winter Soldier, it's not Black Panther, it's not those super epic, but it's such a fun, good movie with great characters and great comedy. And Ant-Man reminds me of kind of like that, you know. It's one of the characters they can just play with and have a really fun time with and tie into their storyline. And because no one's super invested in Ant-Man, it's not like Star Wars. If you screw with their characters, they're going to be pissed, which happens all the time. But so you can just make a light, fun superhero movie, And
do you know how much money Marvel has? Marvel has so much money that they can release movies like Ant-Man and be like, hey, this flushes out 0.001% of the Marvel universe, but man, it's going to be fun. So here you go, guys.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to move forward the Marvel universe in any way, shape, or form. It's just going to be fun. And
I think it will, though. I think it will in Infinity War 4.
Yeah, I stayed till the very end, and it definitely might influence the thing. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But anyway, I'm getting off track.
Yeah,
okay,
sorry. My bad.
So I went to go see this movie. I went to the 1:30 showing because I wanted to make sure I had plenty of time to get to my show. So I went to the 1:30 showing. I show up. I get in there at 1:20. I have to reserve my seat for wherever I was going. And I got to say that the mall, the place I went to go see the movie was at a mall in New Orleans. Okay. So I go and I sit down in my seat at this movie theater, and it's in the big GGX movie theater, like their big super surround sound, and it was classic New Orleans. One of the speakers was buzzing during the thing. The projector was completely off. I could hear that there was a pre-show playing through the speakers, including the one with the hum, but there was nothing showing on the screen. And so I sat there for a little while, and finally I got up and I went out and I talked to the manager of the movie theater. I was like, hey, just so you guys know, the projector isn't on in the movie theater. And they were like, oh, yeah. I'm sure it'll come on by the time the movie turns on. And I was like, okay. So I went and sat back down. The movie is supposed to start at 1:30. At 1:35, I can hear over the audio that it says, please silence your cell phones. Silence your cell phones now. And then it starts playing all this ethereal background music. And then it just, all sound shuts off, and it's completely silent. And the lights are still on. And there's nothing playing on the big screen. And I'm just sitting there for seriously about 5 solid minutes, just staring at a blank screen with no audio happening and a buzz coming through the speaker. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Are you the only one in the theater?
I'm the only one in the theater, yeah. So I go back down to the manager again. I'm like, hey, man, so the movie was supposed to start by 5 minutes ago. The lights are still on, the projector's still off, and there's no audio. And he's like, oh, yeah. I'll tell you what, just wait another 5 minutes. I'm sure it's supposed to come on automatically, so I'm sure it'll be fine. Like, what the hell?
But I'm missing previews.
Yeah, so I went and I sat back in my seat, and I felt like such a dick. I was like sitting in my seat, and I was like, do I talk to this guy a third time? Do I leave? Like, what do I do? And so I waited about 5 minutes, and before I stood up for the third time, the movie, like, the projector came on. I could hear it click on. The lights dimmed, so probably someone finally went up there and checked. The lights dimmed, and they started playing, and yeah, they played, like, when it finally came on, they were halfway through one of the previews. Like, it obviously wasn't working right. But then the movie came on, or the previews came on, and it started playing the previews, and dude, I swear to God, the movie was out of focus. Like, like the projector was out of focus.
Oh, no.
Like, I mean, it wasn't so out of focus that I couldn't read words, but it was definitely like you had to kind of squint your eyes to see any of the words that were playing. And I really had a thought with myself. I was like, man, do I go back out and say, hey, guys, hey, so good job. You got the lights off. You got the projector going. There's still a buzz in the speaker, but whatever. Can you put the movie in focus? Or can I just sit here and just, like, enjoy the movie? And I just decided, whatever, it's going to be fine. But it was like a perfect New Orleans experience of people like, hey, man, it's probably fine. Yeah, it's whatever.
It'll start. It's on a timer.
It'll start. Whatever.
So, did you have to watch it all out of focus?
Yeah, I mean, and it was barely out of focus. By about the middle of the movie, I stopped caring that it was in focus. I might have brought a flask. I don't remember.
So it compensated. It put it back in focus.
It put it back in focus a tiny bit.
Man,
yeah.
that would have bugged the out of me.
Yeah, and it wasn't like bad out of focus. It was just slightly out of focus. So yeah, man, it was a funny movie going experience.
We should. That leads right into. We'll do this one next. It's the summer. It's Monday Club. It's Monday Club's Summer Movie Challenge. This week on Monday Club's Summer Movie Challenge is Skyscraper. Came out on the 13th of July. And it got 50% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh,
and
man. So for those of you who haven't been paying attention to the Summer Movie Challenge, Pete and I set this up where we were going by Rotten Tomatoes scores and trying to guess what we thought the upcoming blockbuster summer movies were going to be, and guessed our own score for that movie. And then as the summer has been going on, comparing our guesses to what the actual summer movie got on Rotten Tomatoes. And so what did I guess for this one, for Rampage?
So, Rampage was at 49%, and Skyscraper...
Oh, Rampage, that's right.
Yeah, Skyscraper got 50%, and okay. I guessed 45%, and the one and only Gus Davis hit a bullseye at 50%! Gus, you won today, but I'm not sure if it's enough to even get you close to my tally.
So, listen, Pete, before we even started this episode, I wrote my concession speech. So, Pete Bois, I would like to say that I have gone over all of the numbers, and even if I hit a bullseye on every single movie that comes out from here until the end of August, there is no way that I can catch your superior guessing skills of the Summer Movie Challenge. I concede. I happily hand you the baton. I back out. I bow down. I submit to your superior movie experience and your high level of guessing skills. I'm out, dude. I lose this challenge. I happily accept the 3 movies that I have to watch from our Monday Club audience. Go ahead and start sending them now. We'll collate them. I will find the worst 3 movies that I have to watch, and I will happily watch 3 bad movies in penance for my lameness of my guessing skills of the Summer Movie Challenge. I'm out.
Wow, that was a very fulfilling speech for me. Like, I couldn't have asked for a better speech. I couldn't have asked for more self-esteem to be put into my body one time. Gus, you are a graceful winner. Thank you for the kind words. And all I have to say is, ha ha, I won, ha ha, I won, ha ha, I won.
I'm going to make you watch Babadook with me.
It's probably going to be the Meg.
Yeah, well, dude, I'm actually excited about the Meg still. But yeah, I looked at it, man. I was like, even if I got it right, there's no way the Meg is going to be like my ace in the hole for this Jones. Like, it's just not going to happen. This week in the news, France won the World Cup. This week in the news.
That was so fulfilling.
That was great. Yeah, no one cares about World Cup on Monday Club. Yay, France. Good job. Way to win the World Cup. You beat Croatia. I will say this is kind of sort of interesting. Croatia, I just saw a news report that when the Croatia soccer team, World Cup soccer team, came back to Croatia, 15% of the population of Croatia showed up for the celebration and welcome back party for them.
Wow.
So that's like 550,000 people were in the Times Square of Croatia, in the big square of Croatia, welcoming the soccer players back home, even though they lost, just for making it to the finals. So, man, that's got to feel good.
Yeah, that's a huge party.
Yeah, that's an epic part. When a significant percent of your population of your entire country shows up to welcome you back home as a hero, that's pretty badass.
That'd be a great party to crash. Just you have like a open-ended plane ticket and you're watching the World Cup, and as soon as they win, you're like, I'm going there for the next week, and you just show up and you pretend you've been rooting for Croatia the whole time.
Yeah.
And I bet you could have a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah, I bet there's a lot of parties, and I bet there's a lot of parties in France that are just going out of control. So again, to the two teams that made it, congratulations. All right, let's move on to something that the Monday Club audience can really, truly grasp, and that is robots. Disney robots that are stunt doubles.
This is freaking amazing. Robots have taken over our jobs. They are taking over our lives. They are running our lives, making decisions for us. They're going to be driving for us, and now they're going to be doing acrobatics and stunt doubles in movies. This is amazing.
So picture this. These robots that they're using aren't necessarily humanoid looking. Some of them look like basically pogo sticks with arms. But Disney is using these robots for stop motion, or for is stop motion right? I don't know. They're doing digital tracking on the robots. So all they need to do is see where the legs would be, where the arms would be, and where the head position would be. And they're doing things like firing them out of cannons, using them on trapezes, throwing them off of large buildings, and watching them do flips. And the concept is that if anything happens to the robot, we're not out billions of dollars. If something happens to Tom Cruise or Tom Hanks, because they're goddamn national treasures, then that could end their career. And so, yeah, they're using robots to do stunts. How do you feel about that, Pete Waugh?
I think stunt people and doubles will be really pissed off about this because that's part of their job. So, obviously, they can't do super intricate stuff. They're using them it looks like they're using them to do big, like flying through the air, flips, things like that. And it seems like this would be best used in a live situation, right? You know how they have those live shows at Disney, and there's a pirate up there, and they're going da da da, and there's a soundtrack, and they're not actually talking, and they're doing all it's like a stunt show, right? And they have to have a little story with it, and I think that it obviously would be good for movies, but this might be what they're trying to aim it for, to be do some pretty amazing stunts with these robots in a live performing scenario. So the human kind of gets thrown behind a bush, and then all of a sudden the bad guy comes and kicks that person, but it's switched out for this stunt double, that robot stunt double that flies 100 feet and does 30 flips and then lands, and then all of a sudden he gets up behind the other bush,
Yeah. I don't know, man. Man, how do I say this? We're entering into such a weird space in human history with technology moving as fast as it is, that it seems to me that, like, when you see somebody do gymnastics right now, I watch YouTube clips all the time of people doing amazing gymnastics and feats of strength and parkour and stuff like that, and we're entering into such a weird spot where, like, no human could possibly do it as well as a robot. And so there's going to be this weird sense that when you see something, you're like, well, I don't know if that's real or not. Just like when you watch a movie and they use CG for things, and you're like, man, that was really cool, but I'm not sure what part of that was real and what part of that was makeup and what part of that was CG and what part of that was acting. Like, I just don't know. And so yeah, I think there's a weird line where I'm like, I'm happy that people are protecting themselves by having an option for a robot stunt double, and at the same time, I'm like, sort of sad for the people that can do some amazing stuff, but you can't do that amazing triple backflip off of a building safely in through a manhole cover every single time, and so you're being replaced by a robot. Like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah. No, I get that. But the pride in humans changes, right? So you're like, if you see a human do this amazing stunt, and you're like, wow, I am proud to be human. There are people, and I'm proud of this person, and this is amazing, and you're filled with, like, this sense of awe. But if you see a robot do that, you're instead of, you're not really in awe of the robot, you're in awe of the people that made the robot. So it's
right. Wow, look at the programming. I mean, can you imagine the higher math that it took for it to do that backflip and then land right on that box? That's amazing.
Yeah, but it is still amazing. I think,
it is.
It's just a different,
no, you're right.
It's just a different set of skills, and it's being shifted. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I love robots, but I love human stunt people. So I'm gonna end on the fence on this. I think they're both awesome.
All right. Well, I was gonna go with humans, except that I just saw an article that in the filming of the new Mission Impossible movie, Tom Cruise does a scene, and they show it in the previews, where he jumps from one building across a big gap onto another building. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've seen. Okay, I think I've seen that preview.
Okay, so he jumps from one building onto another building, and he lands on the side of the building. And in the preview, they do a hard stop right where he kind of slams into the side of the building. Well, in real life, he broke his leg or his foot or his ankle. He, like, broke a bone doing that stunt. And he's such a pro, like, good God, he's such a pro that he hit it, he knew he broke his bone, stood up and finished the scene, as in he ran past the cut mark and collapsed and was like, ambulance, medic, let's do it, like, get me out of here. But he finished it so that they got the scene, they wouldn't have to reshoot that scene. And so, I mean, while I'm all for people like Tom Cruise doing their own stunts and being badasses, I totally see from the production side how if they could have just pushed a robot off of one building and let it do that thing and used no one in the real world would have known the difference, that would have saved the company, thousands of dollars. So, yeah, I get it.
Can't wait to see the new Mission Impossible, too.
I know,
as well.
Me too. I'm so excited.
Hey, it's time for Stories from the Road. So I've been on the road. Just did a couple shows this past week. I did a show at a bar mitzvah. You ever do a bar mitzvah?
Those are fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Everyone's done bar mitzvahs. And that was really fun. It was just, I don't know, maybe 100 people or less, 75 to 100 people. And there was obviously a bunch of 13-year-olds, 12 and 13-year-olds running around. And they were a great audience. All the adults and kids were great, and it was a lot of fun. It went very well. But there was this one moment. I do the sucker egg trick.
Uh-huh.
So, it makes it look like you've messed up, right? Because it's a sucker trick. So you mess up, and then you do it again, and this time it comes out right. And so you're kind of one up on the audience. That's why they call it a sucker effect, if I explain that right. And have you seen the latest season on Netflix of Arrested Development?
No.
Okay.
No.
So whenever, Job, the magician on Arrested Development, whenever there's like a moment where he's being depressed or something bad is happening and he just kind of needs to go inside himself and forget about the world, he just starts staring off into space, and the Simon and Garfunkel Sounds of Silence comes on. Hello, silence, you're my friend. Come to talk with me again. And so I did something where it looked like I screwed up, and I guess this plays to my strengths as an actor because apparently they thought it was all messed up. And then one of the 13-year-old kids, just started singing, "Hello, silence, my old friend. I've come to speak with you again." And I just cracked up laughing. I was like, how is this kid watching the last season of Arrested Development? This is a huge coincidence, or we're on the same page here. And we were the only two people laughing in that entire audience. And
that's awesome.
So shout out to that kid, whoever he was, because you have good taste in comedy and you are witty and smart. So that was hilarious.
Yeah. Shout out to you, 13-year-old kid. Way to go. You get the Monday Club bump too.
Yeah.
Well done. Yeah. So, dude, that's awesome. I had some really, I guess, what day? It was Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th, I had two shows, and they were as polar opposites as you could possibly be. My first show, there were two magic shows. My first show was for a group of kids that are studying magic, and I've done this show for 25 years now, and it's always a really difficult show to do because I want to do a great job for them, and at the same time, they're so jaded about magic. They see a magic show every single day for 2 weeks straight, some of them 20 times a summer, and so they're just so jaded on magic, and so I want to go in and be this super badass, and yet I can't just recreate my show over and over again. And I tried this time. I shouldn't have. I should learn my lesson. But I tried to do a completely brand new show for them with 45 minutes of setup and prep time. And it just sucked, dude. Like, every single trick that I tried to do, and it came on the heels, too, of my 4th of July show that was outdoors in a rainstorm. And so I didn't even remember this getting ready for the show. But I had just taken most of the tricks that I reset and just thrown them into my case. And so when I started the show, I pull out my first effect, and I look at it, and I'm like, well, crap. I didn't like preset this trick. Like, it's not ready to go yet. And so I have to, the entire show, let me, I guess, skip to the punchline. Like, I figure out how to get it all set and ready to go while on stage in front of a giant audience of 115 kids. But every single trick, man, I had to think about and be like, okay, well, if I haven't tied the secret knot yet behind, that no one's supposed to see, how do I get a knot in this rope before I pull the rope out, even though I've already introduced the trick? Okay, well, maybe I can go back. You know what I'm saying? And I figured it out. Every single trick, I figured it out, and everyone had a good time. But it was the hardest work for a magic show I have ever done in my entire life. It was truly rough. And so I finished that show and got it put away. And my next show that I was going to was a completely different vibe. It was Walk Around Magic at this art installation, like an art opening where they were having a like super new age DJ. They had a mime, a sword swallower, and a sketch character artist, and me at this art opening that was also a black and white party, as in people are supposed to wear like super fancy black and white clothing. That was also a singles mixer for like single women to come and meet single dudes, and my job was to connect people and do magic for them, and it was so fun. It was like the complete opposite of my first show. I walked around, I got to be gregarious, I got to walk up to single ladies and introduce myself and do magic, and then like draw them into a conversation with a larger group of people, and it was just a lot of fun. So yeah, my weekend was a tale of two magic shows. The first one was as rough of a show as I have had in a very long time. And the second one, I walked out feeling like a rock star, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, that was my weekend.
The ups and downs.
That's right.
Teachable moments. Monday Club. My teachable moment this week is tweet celebrities. You never know what will happen. So as you guys know, I do a weekly show at the Colony Hotel in Kennebunkport, Maine. And there are some famous people that live in Kennebunkport. Patrick Dempsey, McDreamy from Grey's Anatomy, has a house in Kennebunkport. And he's a juggler. It's known that he was a clown. He went to clown school, I think. So he's got to be into magic, right, if you're a clown, or at least appreciate it. And then the Bush family, former President Bush and Bush Jr., Bush Sr. and Bush Jr. have big houses over down the road from my show. And so I thought it'd be a good idea to tweet them today, inviting them to my show with a link to the show. Now, here's the thing. I haven't checked Twitter in over an hour, so I don't know if they've responded or anything has happened on Twitter. So I'm going to check Twitter live right now, and if they've responded to me, then the teachable moment is tweet celebrities. You never know what will happen. If they haven't responded to me, tweet celebrities. You never know what will happen, but they probably won't respond. So here we go. I am pulling down refresh Twitter feed, and the teachable moment of the day is tweet celebrities. You never know what will happen. They probably won't respond. But you know what? I feel better about doing it because at least I tried. And, there's still tomorrow. They could always catch up. Their PR people could catch up on their Twitter feed tomorrow. You never know.
Yeah, that's a great teachable moment. I think that's the power of social media, is that somehow you are connected in a pretty direct way to people with influence. And if you tweet or send out a message like, hey, I would really love to see blah, 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 you never know what's going to happen. I mean, they might think that that's a cool thing to support and jump right on it. So yeah, that's a great teachable moment, Pete Bois.
Thank you, sir. You got one?
Yeah, my teachable moment is this. Read a goddamn book. Like, just please, for the love of God, read a book, listen to the audiobook, just enjoy the printed word in one way or another. I have talked to so many people recently that I say, oh man, I'm listening to this book, blah, blah, blah. What books are you, reading or listening to? And they're like, man, I haven't read a book since high school or middle school. And I'm like, oh my God, you are missing out. There is just so much good content out there and different ways of thinking and good stories and things that make you a better person out there. So please, read a book. Monday Club right now, just take a minute. If you don't have Goodreads as an app, join Goodreads. Find me. It's really easy. It's GUSDAVIS, Gus Davis. That's literally my name on Goodreads.
Did you just sign up, or were you like...
No, I've been on Goodreads forever.
Okay, because I was like, if you just signed up with that name, it's probably not that popular yet.
No. I've been on there for a really long time. But find me on Goodreads. I'll share all the stories that I've read or listened to lately, please do the same for me. Let's keep the book club going. Books are literally how I started doing magic. I found some cool magic books and really got interested in that. And some of the stories that are out there are some that have changed my viewpoint on the way the world works. So, yeah, read a book.
Good teachable moments. I love this. Well, Gus, it is great to see you as always through our Skype portals.
Yeah, you too, my friend.
And Monday Club, thanks for being awesome. We love you long time.
We love you long time, Monday Club. Thanks, guys. Hey guys, thank you guys so much for walking along with us on this journey of Monday Club. We will leave the key to the tree fort underneath the potted plant, and so feel free to come hang out here whenever you want to. Pete and I have agreed that we'll come back and make some more episodes of Monday Club later on when our schedules allow, but for right now, we just want to give you guys a big hug, say we love you, and we appreciate all of you guys have done for us on Monday Club. Thanks for your care, your love, your support, your comments, your drinks, and of course your questions, and we will certainly see you down the road. Also, special shout out to James Caldwell, our sound engineer, and to Zach Holder for our music. You can always find us on MondayClubPodcast.com, Facebook.com/Monday Club Podcast, Twitter @MondayClubPod, Instagram @MondayClubPodcast. Email us, MondayClubPodcast@gmail.com. We'll see you down the road, guys. Happy Monday Club.